Hi, I'm Frank Besednjak with your ACCA Training and Business Tip. If you've watched any of my previous videos or read some of my blogs, you probably know I like to compare running a business to coaching baseball. I've determined through my experiences that most business owners cover just about everything you need to be a good coach. They communicate objectives, they set goals, set up rules, and usually do a good job putting them together to make a winning team. There is one thing missing that does separate sports coaching to business coaching, and I see this one thing missing in just about every business I've visited. That one thing that is missing is the act of having your team practicing regularly. In baseball, even the professionals who have been playing really well for years take the time to practice just about every day. In business, this hardly ever happens. I believe that most businesses spend more time, money, and energy fixing things that were not done correctly and that could have easily been avoided if the task was practiced in advance of actually doing it. A few months ago, I presented a private workshop at an HVAC residential contracting business. There were about 30 people in attendance, and one of the objectives of the workshop was to improve sales. After I covered a few topics, I showed the class, one slide at a time, a list of possible objections by customers and asked them to respond to these objections. Here they are. I cannot pay any more than that. And I can get the guy down the street to do it cheaper than that. Why is it so expensive? There has to be something you could do to lower that price. Or I have a quote right here that is much better priced than yours. The work experience of this group was from 6 to 24 years. So these were seasoned people who shouldn't have any issues responding to customer comments or objections. Unfortunately, no one could respond to the objections in a way that sounded like they knew what they were talking about. I looked over at the president of the business and his mouth was wide open and he looked pretty upset. Every one of them lacked confidence or said something ridiculous. For example, one of the objections was, I can get the guy down the street to do it cheaper than that. Some of the guys actually answered, go ahead. Others said things like, well, why did you call us if you already had someone? Or, yeah, I see that quite a bit. Obviously, none of these answers were good. The answer should have been along the lines of what the differences is in what your business has to offer versus what the competitor offers and why it only makes sense to do business with you. The point I was trying to make with this group is that in order to be successful and have the ability to handle various situations, complaints, and objections, you must practice. Practicing helps improve confidence and allows you to perform better in anything you do. Some of the best consultant sales training boot camps or sales improvement courses are successful because they force the attendees to practice possible scenarios. The most successful businesses regularly take the time to role play, allowing the employees the opportunity to practice their presentation and customer experiences. No one is born with great communication skills. These are learned and tried and practiced until the person feels comfortable, sounds and looks confident, and believes in the product and service themselves. Take the time to practice various scenarios and force your team to answer objections and complaints. It's much better to have them do it wrong in front of you rather than the customer. If you don't have the time, you can just call me or one of my fellow business coaches and we'll do it for you. Believe me, it is true. Practice does make perfect. Thank you for joining me today, and God bless.